Hi, today I'll be talking to you about investing money, in particular drawing and describing compound interest graphs. So compound interest is when your interest earns interest in an investment, which means the amount of interest that you earn each period increases. The first period is just the principal earning interest, but after that you add your previous interest to your principal, and that becomes your new principal for the next period. And from this new principal we then calculate the interest again. So that is your interest added with your principal, which is also earning interest. So because the amount of interest earned each period increases, the graph will be an exponential curve. And what that means is that the gradient will be increasing over time, which means it'll start out low and over time it'll increase, which makes a curve kind of like that. So to draw a compound interest graph, you can construct a table of values for your amount, which is your principal plus the interest, and n, which is the amount of periods, using the compound interest formula, which was a equals to p multiplied by 1 plus r to the power of n. Step 2 would be to draw a number plane, so that will be your y and the x-axis, the x being the n, and the y being the amount. You plot those points from your table and then you can join them to make an exponential curve. Here is an example. The table below gives details for an investment period. The compound interest earned is paid quarterly. So Zane here is prepared to invest $50,000 in the above product. So there are 4 investments, all earning different rates of interest. What we need to do is to draw a graph to represent the future value of these investments after 3 years. So if you had your table of values, you'd go ahead and say at n equals to 0, at n equals to 1, 2, 3, 4, and so on, until you get a good idea of what the curve looks like. Now, I'm not very good at drawing, so I've gone ahead and prepared this on the computer. And what this graph shows us here are your different investments. So this A was your first investment here, which is 4% per annum. B would be this investment here, 6% per annum. Then C was 8, D was 10, and you can have a look at how they slowly increase over time. And the amount of interest rate you have shows you how much it increases. So the larger the interest rate, the more it will increase over time. And from the beginning it doesn't increase by much, but by the end it will increase by a lot more. Now the questions B, C, and D. What is the approximate value of the investment B after 2 years? Okay, let's have a look at investment B, which is this line. After 2 years, which is here, you go up and you read it across, you would get an amount there. So there is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So each line is 1,000. So for B, it would roughly be $51,500 there. For the investment B after 2 years. Part C, what is the approximate value of investment C after 18 months? Okay, so 18 months is 1.5 years. 1.5 years, that's 1.5 is here. This was investment C, so going up to the third line, and that is pretty much the same. So I'll go ahead and write a little bit more. So I'll say $52,000. Finally, part D, find the time for investment D to earn $5,000 of interest. So investment D is the top graph, $5,000 of interest. Our initial was $50,000, that was our principal. So if we earned an interest of $5,000, our amount would then go to $55,000. So going to D, the top one, just under 4 years. So I'll just go ahead and write 4 years from this graph. And that is how you read a compound interest graph.